first of its kind hearing in San Mateo County that could cost the sheriff her job.
People went to defamatory lengths to remove her.
Sheriff Christina Corpus takes the stand answering questions about how she ran her office as her team criticizes the effort to oust her.
We have full confidence in the integrity of this process.
Plus, Ukrainians in the Bay Area closely watching a high-stakes summit between President Trump and Ukraine's president.
Every word, every gesture, everything.
Their concerns about the path to peace. And thousands of San Francisco city workers return for in-person work.
We feel it right here.
The downtown businesses hoping to cash in. And later, reaction to the potential merger of two historic East Bay community colleges.
So that's going to have a huge impact on the students here.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. A high-stakes push for peace at the White House as President Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky met today to discuss a path toward ending the more than 3-year Russian invasion. They say their meeting was productive, though no final deal has been made.
Thank you very much for your efforts, personal efforts to stop killings and stop this war.
We've had a lot of good discussions, a lot of good talks, and I think progress is being made, very substantial progress.
The Oval Office sit-down with Zelensky and European leaders comes 3 days after President Trump met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska. So Trump says he's arranging a sit-down with the three leaders. Our John Ramos spoke with Ukrainians here in the Bay Area, closely watching the talks.
All across the Bay Area, Ukrainian nationals are watching anxiously as the future of their country is negotiated behind closed doors in Washington, D.C.
We are viewing very closely. I mean, like every word, every gesture, everything.
Natalia Gashilik is a Ukrainian national and a UC Berkeley lecturer on Slavic languages. She, like a lot of her fellow Ukrainians, are keeping a close eye on the meeting between Presidents Trump and Zelensky.
We see that as very important. First of all, that's the first meeting in Washington, D.C. since the, infamous Oval meeting.
The Oval meeting was the angry exchange in February between Zelensky and Trump, all while the cameras rolled.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
At the time, Natalia considered that moment to be a disaster for Ukraine.
It felt like, you are in a car and this car is going to there's going to be a car wreck, so it's going to hit something very large, and it is hitting at this moment, and you are, witnessing this alive. So that was something unexpected.
But this meeting feels different, especially since Zelensky has arrived with friends, the leaders of many European nations.
And that's important on so many levels for Ukrainians. First of all, that shows that Ukraine is actually a part of European, security framework. It is a part of European family.
The war has been going on for 3 years now, and locally, Ukrainians hit the streets in February after President Trump suggested that it was Ukraine that started the war.
You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal.
And last week, many were offended by the amount of reverence that President Trump showed Vladimir Putin at their meeting in Alaska.
It was very inappropriate. A lot of aspects of this, the optics of rolling the red carpet literally for a war criminal, having U.S. servicemen kind of bow in front of Putin.
Igor Markov directs a Palo Alto-based group called Nova Ukraine. He says his members are alarmed by what they're now seeing.
People are on the edge. People are following the news. Also, everyone is following what is happening in Ukraine. The air alerts went on last night again.
Even as the talks are happening, Russia has stepped up its attacks on Ukraine, allegedly including civilian targets. Markov believes Putin is acting out of desperation as his economy crumbles, hoping to force a deal that would allow Russia to keep portions of the land it has already taken.
If President Trump's condition is that Russia gets to keep territory that it has taken over, you would say what?
This is a no-go. And this is a no-go for Europe. This is no-go for Zelensky. This is a no-go for the people of Ukraine.
During the campaign, President Trump frequently boasted that he could end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. He now admits it's more complicated than he thought. To Ukraine and to Europe itself, land isn't just a bargaining chip. It's actually someone's home.
The Ukrainians say they still need American weapons to defend themselves in the war, but they suspect that Europe will need to help foot the bill for them. It's actually something that President Trump has been advocating for a long time. The California legislature back in session. State Democrats are pushing forward on a plan to draw new congressional districts at a counter to redistricting efforts by Texas Republicans. Prop 50 was introduced today, which would put the proposed map on the ballot in a special election come November. All right, here's a look at California's current district map. So right now, Democrats hold 40 House seats while Republicans hold 12. The new congressional map released by state Democrats last week could actually flip 5 red seats, nullifying any gains by Republicans in Texas. One major change would put Santa Rosa residents in a district with Chico and Paradise that's been held by a long-serving Republican. Today, members of the California GOP took aim at their Democratic colleagues.
You are disenfranchising Californians, and we are tired of democracy dying here. We will fight back. We are in the super minority, but we are effective, and we will defeat this. If it's not here in the Capitol, it will be in a courtroom, or it will be at the ballot box.
California Democrats argue they need to stand up against the Trump administration, its crackdown on immigration, and cuts to health care and education.
And what have these Republican Congress members done? They've stood aside while Trump harms their constituents, clapping like a bunch of seals at the circus.
Prop 50 is expected to be heard in committees this week. This all comes as Democrats in Texas have returned home after a 2-week standoff to prevent Texas GOP lawmakers from voting on their own proposed map. A jewelry store in Oakland robbed in broad daylight. Kim Tin Jewelry was hit by a smash and grab at around 2 this afternoon. The store is on International Boulevard in Little Saigon, and you can see there is major damage to the front of the store. The security gate was damaged and shards of glass are spilling out onto the street. The owner's son said the robbers took all the jewelry and almost all the money.
A huge white truck they just backed up and they went straight full force into the building, causing all this damage, as you can see. And so my dad was standing behind the counters back there, and he was knocked back against the wall, and he sustained like some severe bruising on his thighs and his legs. And when he got up, he saw that they were pointing to him at gunpoint. So he was just he was trying to get out alive.
Jason said his dad used his life savings to renovate the store before opening 6 months ago. He isn't sure what his family will do next. Oakland police say some of the suspects were armed. They're asking anyone with information to come forward. A driver taken to the hospital after a car smashed into a San Jose dental office. This happened at a strip mall on Tully Road near the East Ridge Mall this afternoon. You could actually see glass shattered everywhere inside of the office space. Officers say the driver was taken to the hospital for minor injuries. No one else was hurt. Police say there was no major damage to the building. Also in San Jose, the city moved in today to clear one of its biggest encampments, Columbus Park. Cleanup crews, they got to work. They were clearing out trash from tents and RVs early this morning. Columbus Park is south of San Jose Mineta International Airport. People were told to accept an offer of shelter or leave the park by 7 a.m. today. Mayor says 400 shelter beds are available and more will soon become available across the city.
We have more new interim housing. These are private rooms in mostly motels at this point, though we do have a number of those modular sites coming online later in the year.
There was also an RV buyback program offering $2,000 for each vehicle, but one family says they want to keep their RV.
I don't like that the city's trying to move me out. I'm trying to find a place to put my stuff. I'm trying to find a place to put my RV, but so far the city is not offering a place to put my RV.
Full cleanup of the park could take several weeks. The city says after the park is cleared, it will begin redevelopment, adding playgrounds and ball courts starting next year. A kitchen fire shutting down Original Joe's. Look at this. It was a week after its Walnut Creek location opened. Firefighters responded to the small fire just after midnight last night. Officials said there was no major damage or injuries. Some locals said they got a notification today that their reservation was canceled. Well, others showed up still hoping to keep their lunch plans.
We heard there was a fire, but we thought maybe there'd be an opportunity to sneak in anyway, but it's so sad that happened. Right, we were all so excited for the grand opening, so we'll have to come back another time.
Well, the restaurant posted a statement on social media saying they plan to reopen just as quickly as possible. San Mateo County's embattled sheriff took the stand this afternoon to fight for her job. County supervisors have accused Sheriff Christina Corpus of retaliation, racism, and abuse of power. And today kicked off an unprecedented hearing that could remove her from office. So this all started last November when the Board of Supervisors released an independent report from a retired judge that detailed the allegations and called for her resignation. Corpus even showed up during public comment at a special board meeting, calling the report politically motivated. And then in March, San Mateo County held a special election for Measure A. It gives supervisors temporary power to remove the sheriff. It passed with 84% of the vote. So the measure also mandates that the sheriff is entitled to a hearing to defend herself against the allegations. And that brings us to today. Lauren Toms spent the day inside the courtroom.
For the first time publicly, San Mateo County Sheriff Christina Corpus answered direct questions as she faces a hearing that could remove her from office. She testified about how she ran her office and her relationship with her executive director, Victor INJ, insisting she did not have a romantic relationship with him, an issue the county points to as a clear conflict of interest. Her attorney, Tom Perez, insists the effort to remove her has been biased and rushed.
This trial will show that, yes, people opposed her and people went to defamatory lengths to remove her, and we're going to keep fighting.
Attorneys for the county laid out a list of allegations that Sheriff Corpus did have an intimate personal relationship with INJ. They say she retaliated against deputies she deemed disloyal, obstructed investigations, and neglected her duties. The county pointed to INJ's hiring as a prime example, a real estate broker brought in at nearly $200 a year. They called former high-ranking members of the department as witnesses who testified about unusual behavior between Corpus and INJ, sharing meals together and logging on and offline at the same time, a trip to Hawaii, and a pattern of forceful behavior towards deputies. County spokesperson Effie Miliones Verducci says the county is prepared to make their case for her removal.
In the removal hearing that's beginning today at the county, we are looking forward to the evidence, the witness testimony that's coming out, and the factual evidence that will be presented by both sides to put a definitive picture of what has been happening here and to help us all move forward.
Overseeing the hearing is retired Judge James Emerson from Santa Clara County, who began by noting this is not a criminal trial. Legal analyst Steve Clark says it's a rare civil proceeding that could lead to the end of Corpus's tenure as San Mateo County's top law enforcement official.
This is not a criminal trial about putting someone in jail beyond a reasonable doubt or a civil trial awarding someone money. This is really about whether the county can establish good cause for removing Sheriff Corpus. And that's really a subjective standard, and it'll be up to the judge to decide whether the county's made its case.
Corpus's defense team argued this hearing isn't about misconduct by the sheriff, but her efforts to address the culture of what they called the old boys club inside the sheriff's deputies union. Her attorneys say Corpus inherited a double overtime deal that ballooned to $16 million, far beyond projections. And when she tried to end it, they say the union turned against her. Her attorneys insist she's being targeted for trying to modernize the sheriff's office as the county's first female sheriff of color. A historic move to oust the sheriff now playing out in an open courtroom.
You may not like how they're handling it, but are they getting the job done? And I think that will be very important for her to make that case.
The hearing is expected to last up to 10 days. Then Judge Emerson will write his own report and submit it to the Board of Supervisors, who will then decide whether to remove Corpus from office. And still ahead here at 6, San Francisco city workers are back in the office today. How downtown businesses are hoping to cash in on their return.
Hopefully people in the downtown also coming back more days a week, so I can able to get more business.
Today was the deadline for 10,000 San Francisco city workers to return to the office 4 days a week. Mayor Daniel Lurie's mandate was originally supposed to take effect late April, but was pushed back until now after negotiations with labor unions. Kenny Choi takes a look at the impact of more employees returning downtown, especially for small businesses trying to stay afloat.
Every day at 4 a.m. for the past 19 years, Jason Wu shows up to this kitchen to make donuts and croissants.
About dollar by dollar to send them to school.
There's relentless pressure to sell enough each day to provide for his children.
Pressure. I got three little baby at home.
Gateway Croissant is about a block away from City Hall. Most days, it's a 16-hour day for Wu, but it feels like a lot more.
24 hours, 7 days.
Wu's wife, Quinn Nguyen, noticed an uptick in business when state employees were required to work 4 days per week at the office starting in July. But it's the return of even more workers from the private and public sectors they're hoping and still waiting for.
They come and they get the donut, also the coffee for meeting, birthday, or for their office, for just sometimes just because Friday.
Those regular office meetings are when boxes of coffee can be sold rather than a single cup at a time or one donut per transaction. Lurie has argued the new policy will enhance government efficiency and boost foot traffic around Civic Center. According to Placer.ai, which tracks foot traffic trends, office visits in July were down 34.2% compared to July 2019. But the city also saw a 21.6 year-over-year increase in office foot traffic last month. Julian Vogel teaches finance at San Jose State.
San Francisco is still lagging behind other cities in terms of absolute percentage of people in the office.
The new 4-day mandate will apply to an estimated 10,000 workers in non-essential roles like accounting, human resources, and legal services. Vogel believes small businesses could see significant boosts.
But now the government, the public workers coming back, incentivizes somebody to open something in that former sandwich shop location, which now makes private industry more likely to come back.
Hopefully people in the downtown also coming back more days a week, so I can able to get more business.
The couple at the corner of Golden Gate and Larkin believes new city policies are making a difference and benefiting small businesses like theirs.
Not like just talk.
So you see it on the streets?
We see it on the street, yeah. We feel it right here.
He won't be working less, but Jason Wu will be a little more hopeful with the promise of more business on the horizon, even if it means long mornings, days, and nights ahead.
According to the mayor's office, about 70% of city workers in critical public safety, healthcare, transportation, and infrastructure jobs have already been working in person full-time, just like home.
That's right. A comfortable start to the work week. It's easy to do this job when temperatures aren't causing us any problems. But after this comfortable start and another comfortable day tomorrow, we've got some heat to talk about. Details coming up in the First Alert forecast.
I cannot wait to have my big spaghetti dinner in this outfit. Everyone's walking by me today going, I hope you don't have spaghetti
good luck.
today.
Go to get some barbecue after this?
Yeah, exactly.
Just going up to your wrists.
Some ribs. Why not?
Well,
Anyway.
and you have to keep it away from your Ursine friends as well.
Yeah, that's
Julie had a
true.
little encounter with a bear over the weekend.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Stay tuned at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that. It's
Like literally, this is no joke, like a 600-pound bear.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
No,
All right,
thank
we had
you.
some food that
I would have
smelled.
taken like
Okay.
a couple weeks off just to deal with that kind of trauma. Let's take a look.
I should.
And it's too late now. Let's
Okay.
take a look at today's temperature pattern. And we saw temperatures that were pretty comfortable for August. Didn't see any extreme heat really across the entire state. You can see some of the purple colors showing up closer to Death Valley and then to the desert Southwest. But contrast this with Thursday's temperature pattern. All of a sudden, it is going to be hot, especially through the Central Valley, but some of that heat is going to be backing up into inland parts of the Bay Area, and we are going to see some triple-digit temperatures for inland locations by the time Thursday rolls around. So enjoy one more comfortable day in store for us tomorrow. Right now, things are looking pretty good out there. Looking out from Treasure Island, blue skies overhead, not seeing any fog at the coast just yet, and temperatures are pretty close together. Considering it's August, we can easily see a 30 to 40 degree spread in temperatures in the early evening. Instead, we have a 14-degree difference between San Francisco at 67, 81 degrees for the warmest spot on the map in Concord, and everybody will end up in the 50s and low 60s by early tomorrow morning, which is pretty close to normal for this time of year. And the fog is going to reform along the coast, and it's going to try to push across the bay as we head through tonight. Any inland intrusion of that fog is going to be pretty brief. The pre-sunrise hours of tomorrow morning showing some of that fog, then it backs up quickly and retreats to the coast by lunchtime. At the coast, you saw sunshine today. I hope you soaked it up because it's going to be in short supply tomorrow and likely on Wednesday. But then when temperatures warm up, you are going to see more sunshine at the coast. Tomorrow, another mild day. Enjoy it while it lasts. Temperatures are either going to be near average or a couple degrees short of what's normal for this time of year. 80 degrees in San Jose. The average is 82, so it'll be just a little behind the pace. Temperatures mostly in the 80s east of the Oakland Hills. No 90-degree readings even around Antioch and Brentwood, although they will reach the upper 80s. Temperatures mostly in the 70s around the bay with 60s at the coast, and temperatures in the North Bay going from the 70s to the 80s to around 90 degrees in Healdsburg. But again, we have that heat in store beginning on Wednesday and then peaking on Thursday. But even then, the heat risk is only going to reach the moderate category, and it's not going to last too long. Take a look at the big picture pattern here. I do want to show you the outlook from the Climate Prediction Center in the 8 to 14 degree range. And all this gray, which is where we are, it means near average temperatures, a weak signal towards above normal readings as we finish August and head into early September and way off to our southeast. We're actually going to have below average temperatures anticipated as we head into the latter half of the month and into early September. So, which is something we'll keep an eye on as we head through the rest of this month. But in the short term, while that heat does build inland, it's just not going to last too long. Every inland hot spell we've had has been about 2 or 3 days and hasn't set any records so far this summer. This one likely the same, although 100 degrees does kind of stand out there in the 7-day forecast. We're back to near normal by this weekend and into early next week. Bayside temperatures will also warm up. The warmest day does send even Bayside temperatures up into the 80s, and then you're right back down into the 70s, which is normal for late August. And temperatures at the coast don't warm up a lot. The warmest day approaches 70 degrees. But more importantly, you'll see a little break from the foggest weather for a couple of days, Thursday and Friday, before that fog and low cloud cover returns as we head into the weekend. Jules?
Paul, thank you. When we come back, 2 Oakland community colleges may soon become one. How a merger may help both schools stay open. The Valkyries continue their playoff push tomorrow night against the Phoenix Mercury, and you can watch it on our sister station, Pix Plus. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. on Channel 44, Cable 12. Oakland's Laney College and Merritt College may soon become one school again. Laney and Merritt are both part of the Peralta Community College District. Last week, the district's chancellor unveiled a plan to combine the 2 schools under the Oakland City College banner. The chancellor says that if the plan goes through, the district would not see any cuts for the next 2 years.
That will hopefully help our district just get some more funding, because we've had a lot of cuts to across various departments, to a lot of programs, to a lot of personnel, and that's had a big impact on the students.
Laney and Merritt College were a part of Oakland Junior College in 1953, but were split in autonomous campuses in 1964. So the chancellor says the merger will allow both campuses to stay open. CBS Evening News is next. Local news continues on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. We're back right here in 30 minutes with more local news just for you. CBS News Bay Area at 7. See you then.